If you're a musician or a music enthusiast on a budget and you need some in-ear monitors that look great, sound great, and under 100 New Zealand dollars, then the KZ Earphones may just be what you're looking for. About 3 months ago, I stumbled across the wonderful world of Chi-Fi, which is a play on the commonly known word hi-fi, with Chai referring to China. In short, Chinese hi-fi. Chi-Fi. I noticed that a good friend and mentor of mine who owns a well-established and successful sound company had started using a whole bunch of unknown brands that I'd never heard of. Turns out a lot of them can be ordered from Wish and AliExpress, and most of them are Chinese branded imports. Because I was dabbling in the Chi-Fi market, I decided to take a leap and buy a wireless transmitter and receiver from Amazon. I needed some in-ear monitors to go with them, and because I was on a budget, I searched the internet for affordable earphones that don't sacrifice quality for price. As I searched various forums on Reddit, YouTube, gear reviews, news articles, I kept coming across this brand KZ. It was everywhere. I discovered KZ stands for Knowledge Zenith, and is a brand from the company Shenzhen Yuanzi Electronics. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. KZ's motto is, "Don't forget, the original intention for using earphones is to enjoy music." At first glance, the products from the KZ website look pretty damn cool. They have so many to choose from, and the price of them is almost too good to be true. When I ordered these, I honestly took a gamble on it. I had no idea what to expect, and I legit thought I had just been scammed. I mean, the forums on the internet and the KZ store claim to sell in-ear monitors starting as low as $10. Once the KZ packages had arrived, I had tried them all out, and I think it's safe to say I've fallen down the rabbit hole, that is, the Chi-Fi market and KZ in-ear monitors. I ordered 4 different pairs of in-ear monitors from KZ Audio to test them out, and to be honest, I'm really impressed. From cheapest to most expensive, I have the ZSN Pro X, the DQ6, the ZS10 Pro, and the ZSX. The names are so confusing, I'm really sorry. That's literally how KZ has named them. It's hard to remember the names because there's a lot of Z's and Pros and X's and numbers. It's confusing. Oh, and I've done individual reviews on all 4 of them while comparing them to the Shure SE215 earphones, which is considered a $229 entry-level in-ear monitor. Keep in mind, it's all completely subjective as everyone perceives music and sound differently, but I did my best giving a completely honest and unbiased review. If you have time, check out those videos for a more detailed overview. Links are in the description below. The KZs are cheap and affordable. Unfortunately, the word cheap kind of implies poor quality and construction, but that is not the case. It's actually the opposite. The cheapest one I purchased was around $29 New Zealand, and the more expensive one was around $58 New Zealand. And they sound good. So good that I would put them right up there with a $300 headphone or earphone. I have a pair of Sennheiser earphones that cost me $150 and some JBLs that were around $250. And they are nowhere near as good as the KZs, especially when KZ makes them look stunning with a variety of colors and styles to choose from. You could argue that KZ earphones are not in-ear monitors, but more of a high quality sounding earphone for consumers and musicians. Crazy thing is that if I put these KZ earphones in the consumer recreation box, I actually prefer them. They sound great, feel nice, and are so much cheaper. If I compare the KZs to in-ear monitors, it gets tricky because there are so many to choose from on the KZ store, each one with a different number of drivers and armatures per ear, which all affect the sound quality and performance. Now, the competition being the Shure SE215s feel very snug and fit well in my ear. They're very lightweight and they feel good. It fits so well that I can easily forget that they are in my ears, especially if I'm immersed in some music practice or just listening to music non-stop. KZs feel bulkier due to the number of drivers and armatures in them, but they aren't so bad that it bothers me. You have to kind of expect them to be bigger and heavier if they're going to house a whole bunch of hardware in them. I'd say the sound quality of the KZ earphones make up for the size of them. The SC215s are a very pleasant, does the job kind of in-ear monitor. They sound balanced with a flat response in the frequencies, which is great for consistency. They have a lower volume output than the KZs, and at loud volumes they can distort just a fraction, but we're talking very loud volume. When comparing them, the KZs just sound fatter, crisper, tighter, more immersive, more output, and a richer sound. The cheaper KZ earphones I tried out have a tendency for the highs and mids to sound overwhelming and harsh at loud volumes. The lows can get drowned out by them, but they do have a tighter and crisper sound. The more expensive KZ earphones I tried seemed to have consistency over the whole frequency range at various volumes and sounded excellent. In terms of external noise isolation, I've tested these KZs with a band practice and used them with personal music practice, and they hold up pretty well. There is still a little bit of bleed coming through, but if all your band members are using in-ear monitors instead of floor wedges, then there shouldn't be too much noise coming from the stage anyway, other than the acoustic sound of the drums. I have yet to find a way if the KZs can be fitted and sealed with custom ear molds. I took them to a specialist that can mold in-ear monitors to fit your ear, but we came across some issues with getting them to fit or work with the mold. I may have to follow this up again later, so for now, I've ordered a bunch of different ear tips to test out and review to see if they make a difference in isolating noise. When reviewing all 4 of these, I found it interesting that the 2 cheaper earphones I purchased came with KZ's so-called silver upgrade cable, while the 2 more expensive ones came with their stock standard copper cable. I mean, why wouldn't you just put the upgrade cable with the more expensive ones? Or why not make all the earphones come with the silver cable? I didn't really notice any difference in the sound between the 2, and both cables feel equally the same. Also, KZ does not supply a carry case with their earphones. On their official AliExpress store, their carry cases are between $3 to $6. So why not just include them with all the earphones and add a few extra bucks to the overall price? Okay, so to sum it all up, if you're on a budget and you want some great looking and great sounding earphones for personal use or as an in-ear monitor, you can't go wrong with the KZs. I do think the audio cables are not the greatest, and I think KZ could improve their engineering in this department, but for the price, it's definitely worth trying it out for yourself. If you're going to order some KZ earphones and you just happen to live in New Zealand, keep in mind the shipping can take up to a month, if not longer, for them to arrive. So I would suggest doing a bulk order like I did for yourself or with some friends, and buy a bunch of earphones, some carry cases, spare cables, and foam ear tips. You know, stuff like that. Let me know what you think of the KZ earphones. I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Like I said earlier, it's all very subjective. Everyone perceives sound and music very differently. This is my personal thoughts and opinions on it. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Ka kite.